Okay, the world according to Larry Kovacs. A movie's a movie. It's a piece of shit is what it is. Just one more piece of shit. You can't lose any sleep over it. You gotta accept it for what it is, a piece of shit.
I think the attraction to the project principally was sort of its inherent madness. As a script, it is kind of uncategorizable. I read it and hadn't read anything like it, probably ever, and just really wanted to get involved, really.
I could not outline the story. That would be a very difficult thing to do, because I've found, as the film has progressed, that understanding the story is not as straightforward as it might seem. It's got something, hasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's got resonance.
Yeah, and hey, we need resonance. This movie, well, it definitely is a comedy, but its comedy comes from a lot of darker elements. You know, things like dysfunctional friendships, screwing people over, you know, for your dreams and finding out that those dreams are hollow, things like that. And it has elements of sort of mystery into it. You know, it's a lot of it is sort of a little bit ambiguous, and I think it's cleverly so.
You really have no idea what it was about?
I have no clue what it's all been about.
You know, it's a very difficult story to explain, other than it's about three guys persistently abortive attempts to make a film, and, you know, the kind of bizarre situations that they find themselves in along the way.
So, where have we got to so far?
Where have we got to? We've got to the point where we're still trying to work out how to set the fucking margins.
But it's really a story about these three personalities and their relationship, or non-relationships, as the case may be.
While we're playing characters who, although are friends, they actually are, they really don't like each other, I think, deep down.
Frank, you really got to focus, you know. We need a script now, or something, anything that even vaguely resembles a script. The character Michael that I'm playing was what I determined to be a man of action amongst the three guys. The other two guys tend to sit around and have very good ideas, but Michael was the character who went out and actually tried to make those ideas into something concrete.
To become a player. That's what it's all about. To be or not to be a player. At the end of the day, when you really think about it, what is it that we exactly are trying to achieve, huh?
He seriously and truly and honestly believes that between the three of them they can achieve this thing, which is to make a film, and possibly a very good one.
Lovely, you know what I've always wanted to make? I've always wanted to make this thing called That Dull Movie. So, you know, like, people would see it and say, have you seen That Dull Movie? And Variety would run a headline that goes, That Dull Movie scoops boffo box office. It'd be great. The one thing about Frank is he has this amazing inability to focus on anything. He just cannot focus on what's going on. So for Frank, it's more like, oh, these guys get together and we kind of talk about things, and oh, there's a neat Game Boy, and oh, look at that, you know, that's kind of a cool ping pong table, and oh, all of a sudden we're not making a movie anymore.
I basically get to turn up and act out my most sort of antisocial qualities. I mean, he's a pillock, actually, and the worst kind of pillock, the kind of pillock who actually thinks that he's right.
What was I thinking? How did I surrender myself to this humiliating charade, this descent into the existential void, this shipwreck on an ocean of pointlessness?
Okay, hold it. What's with the girl? Is she some kind of symbol? Please don't tell me she's a symbol.
Did I say she was a symbol?
Well, I kind of know something that the rest of the actors don't, so that's my kind of reason for being in the film. She's really involved in it without being directly involved, so she doesn't really give a lot away, and quite mysterious as well. You always kind of wonder what's going on with her.
Well, okay, first off, who is she?
No. What is she, Frank? The eternal feminine? That obscure object of desire, you know what I mean?
It's been a very dreamlike experience. I mean, many years ago I directed a few movies and had it good in Hollywood.
I had it all. I had the suite at the plaza, the stretched limo, the fucking computer that spoke to me.
Then I had a teeny little insignificant dispute with creative artists. And ever since then I've more or less been an extra in my own life. And of course now I'm playing a caricature of myself.
You guys in the film business always on the lookout for ideas, aren't you? I got an idea.
I play an actor who has the initial idea, which is stolen by the protagonists of this film.
We take his story.
Which is actually a great story.
We turn it into a movie.
Which would make a hell of a movie.
Deep-throated, as mad as a March hare, is completely psychotic. So I've had an opportunity to kind of do little Klaus Kinski and Marlon Brando routines, things that I've always dreamed about doing, to throw up on people, to chase the crew with the machete, break furniture, smash props, insult people. It's a lot of fun. Of course, I'll probably never work again. People will think I'm really like that, and a lot of trouble to deal with.
I don't understand. You're not listening to me. I asked you. Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying
Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, Frank!
As a writer-director, it's been extremely easy for me to relate to the material. Most of it's happened to me at some point on some level. I've never actually been clubbed over the head and packed in ice in anyone's bathtub. But otherwise, pretty much everything else is part of the course.
Nicely, nicely. If that don't keep you fresh, nothing will.
And with something like this, it's a real help to be directed by the person who wrote it, I think. Simon wasn't remotely sort of precious about his script in terms of the fact that as we rehearsed it, he was all for, like, he wanted to cut things and he wanted to add things and and it's been really great all the way through.
And Simon kind of gives us a lot of space to bring our own kind of take to things.
It's totally in tune that actors like to play around and improvise, and it's just been great to be able to play around with the script. I mean, often we'll do scenes and then we'll just suddenly take it somewhere, and if he's laughing, then we know it's him.
Well, obviously, Simon's approach on this film is a lot more radical than your normal British film production.
Wow, look at that, eh?
Simon's got some very strange, wild elements in there.
There are kind of multiple narratives.
Macabre coincidences, sometimes blatantly supernatural phenomenon kind of happening under one's nose.
The four horsemen of the apocalypse have just ridden through my bathroom.
This is no type of anecdote about plumbing, Michael. We've got work to do here in case you hadn't noticed.
A little bit of sex and violence and a few gags never hurt.
That's fantastic. Mike.
I think there's a dog in it somewhere as well, and people always pay to see a dog.
Leave it.
Oh, for God's sake.